All right, so I don't know if you're hearing me yet. We'll find out in a minute. I do see some signal coming through. I'm going to turn the voice up a little bit more. Let me put these headphones on. Good Lord. I have, again, it's really crazy when you, this mixer is like right here with all these cables. All right, I'm trying to maneuver stuff around here to make this a little bit better. Okay, maybe that'll help. Grab these headphones. Check, check, check. Y'all can hear me? So if anybody's in, just comment. I'm gonna open up on my desktop. Let me do that right now so I can see if people are commenting. It'll be easier to answer any questions if somebody asks me anything. Your channel, yeah. And then I gotta meet the volume here, hopefully. Okay, cool. So I do have my mic plugged in. I'm using the Zoom right now. So I'm getting everything set up to try to see how I could do more live stuff. So bear with me as I process and work through this because I'm trying to keep the camera angle just right. And can you guys even hear me? I don't even know if it's coming through. Can I get somebody in the comments to let me know if you hear anything? Sorry, I just breathed into the mic all extra. Because if you Oh, audio's good. Okay, cool. Well, glad you could hear that. So now let's work on this next step, which is I'm gonna get some battery packs. Little battery packs. I told you guys about these. This one's kind of 55. Let me grab the other one. See where it's at. That'll work. 74. So I like to use these battery packs. You could use the power cables if you want, with these little bird cords just to get the S4 cranked up. And I'll take this off. And then this battery pack I'll use because it doesn't take a lot of battery to power this reverb pedal. Are we on? Yeah, we're on. Okay. Then we'll talk about the M8 in just a second. That light gets bright, so I just throw this little cleaning rag over the top of it here just so that it doesn't. All right, torso setting up. So this, or the S4, I should say, is setting up. I'm trying to keep these cables from hitting. All right, so Torso did another release with some fix it updates and stuff, which I've already done the update. I don't have any samples on there right now, but you can run anything through this thing. Obviously, I can run this M8, which is right here. By the way, this case is just phenomenal. If you haven't seen this in the previous video, and then I just put the cables and the headphones in there just to have them. And this little guy here. So I was gonna hook this through the torso. I think it'll be. I could do it either way. I could hook it just straight to the mixer, but if I go through the torso, then I can push sound out. And you can run USB sound on the Torso S4. I keep calling it the Torso. Torso is the company. The um the S4, I believe, is what this is actually called, by the way, because they make a T1 and other stuff. Let's see. I just need to see if I have a cable. So give me 1 second. I just reach around the camera and grab a cable. Not that cable. And I don't know what I did with the cables. Okay. Well, we may be going through the USB if I can't find the cable. I think that's it over there. Hold on a second. Got some drum. Those drum brushes. Nope, that's a different cable. 1 second. All right, cool. I got so many cables I can't even keep up. I hate all these cables, but then when I get rid of one, then I need one. Just how it goes. So I don't like having to buy them again. So I'm at the point now where it's like, yeah, I'll just keep them. So there's the cable I'm gonna use because that'll allow me to put the torso through. Get rid of some of that stuff. guy right here. We'll just run it through the top of this up here, left, right. I probably could have had all this set up, but I'm kind of doing this for a purpose, just to show you when you get gear like this, you're gonna have to set it up, right? So this is just where it is. I'm gonna run through the M8 and then turn the M8 on. Now I'll have to see if you guys can hear this stuff because right now I'm not. I'm seeing volume come through, but I think that's just from my mic. I don't think it's passing through here. So the way we set up a volume is we turn on the monitor on here. So you hold control and turn monitor on. And now if I play something, well, this reverb pedal should come off. Hold on. Turn it off. This is a song I was working on. Can you guys even hear that? What's good, Ali Star? And what's up? Who's that? Wonder Art? Never seen you before, but it's good to see you. S4 is a sequencer, right? S4 is not a sequencer, it is a sampler, a sculpting sampler. So here I'll show you kind of what it does. So I'm just playing this track I built on the M8, right? So if I want to pass audio through like this, you have 4 different machines, or they call them material: disc, tape, poly, and bypass. So poly is like a one-shot thing that you can play. I think it's up to 32. It's either 16 or 32 notes at a time. I think it's 16. Tape is just a tape, so it's going to be a shorter, but you can keep recording over it, like kind of a tape loop. And then bypass is just allowing whatever audio I'm playing into the machine to come through here. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm bypassing, and it has 4 tracks. So you can do up to 4 tracks and blend them however you want. Perfect. Thank you, Meerkat. I appreciate you. Can you hear the music though? Now, I know you hear me now, but can you hear the music? Is the music coming through? Somebody said yes, the audio is good, so that's pretty good. All right, so then you have different things. So you have the granular stuff with different pitches, so I could go in and pitch it. By the way, this thing has time stretch on it too, in case you don't know that. So I'm putting a little spray on it. You have a dry wet, you have a contour, and then they have a double menu, so you have a detune, so you can detune the sample. And all this stuff can be modulated however you want to modulate. You can modulate the modulator too, by the way. So now you're starting to scope and do different things. Then you have your resonators and filter cutoff. And you can scope and tone and use different scales to try to make it sound. Put a little bass in there. Compression, you have overdrive, you have noise, you have bit redux. Crush is bit redux, right? So you can do bit crush, redux, or both together. Start making it sound like, push it a little bit, add some noise. And you can adjust the decay of the noise and the tone. And then you have reverb and size. And you can make the reverb darker or brighter with the tone, and then delay. And you can spread the delay like a phase shift, a ping pong, or like a diffuse. Change the timing. So hopefully you guys can hear that. Levels 10. Okay, so the music needs to be up a little louder and the vocals down. All right, I'll bring the vocals down. Okay, how's that? Hopefully that's a little bit better. remind you, that's all. And it's easy to clear something, to copy something. So if you like certain settings, you can copy your settings straight to another track. So let's say that track is going now on track 2. I want to do something different. So I want to bring a sample in. I'm just going to use factory samples for right now. Oops. There. We'll just grab a melodic sample. And you'll see it plays at this speed. It's telling you it's 126, and that's the key. But you can change all that however you just want to. So I'm going to stretch it, time stretch it. You can freeze it, reverse it, resample it by recording it again, what you're doing. Pitch. Take some of that bass out of it. Try different scales to make it go in, and then slope it. And what's cool in here is you can also make it wave, like do like modulate. Look like see how I was doing that, and then add some noise reduction. So you're creating movement, and then I can modulate both of those to LFOs or whatever. Volume issues. Well, I turned the sound up. Louder. Hopefully that helps. So the S4 on the mixer track, the S4 has filters on there, which is a low pass, high pass filter. And then it also, if you hold the mixer down, you'll see it has another compressor. It has all the pans on there. So you got your compression, your pans, and each track has its own settings, right? So you could go into a track, you asked about a limiter. Technically, you could go into each track and use the compression and the drive to do what you need to do. That's pretty much all you need. As far as EQ goes, they do not have a direct EQ on here, but they do have a contour. So you can use the contour and the tone stuff to try to manipulate the EQ portion of it. I'm gonna call that EQ technically. I'm gonna turn the filter here. And then because you have a slope of how much you can bring in, you can actually find spots in the track that you want. Because I'm actually freezing this track, right? If you go back to the main one, I froze it in a certain section. So I can move, I can use crossfades if I want, but I could also move it around to find pieces that I like better or I can put an LFO on that and have it move with the LFO. Okay, so maybe that was something on Uri and Ali, because I'm like, I turned everything up the way you said and turned. If I get any louder, it might start popping speakers or something. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna add, if I add something in initially, because I don't know how it's gonna sound, it might go crazy. So I mean, that's just 2 tracks, right? I could go to a 3rd track, and I could blend these in or record these in. So if you go to scenes, you also have scenes that you can do stuff. You have perform, where you can set up macros for it, and you can rename these macros and have it do stuff. And then if you want to mess things up and get real crazy, you have a temp button. So if you hold down temp, come out of perform. Let's say what track are we on? Track number 2. Let's say you want to do something crazy, so you hold temp down and start doing this, just throwing it all kinds of which ways. And then when you release it, it goes back to where it was originally. So you can use temp as like a way to kind of, it's kind of like Electron vibe with that slider on those, the old Octatrack, where you could slide over into something and then bring it back, kind of that vibe with the temp button. Now this is track don't even sound like this, right? So this is me using this as a sculptor, and then I can pass it through here. This is a whole nother world where I have time stretch over here, decay, and the filter. So I can literally create a soundscape right here, and I'm just using the M8, S4, and a reverb pedal. So I have 2 reverbs technically, because I'm using, well, 4 if you count the fact that each one of these tracks could have its own reverb. So I'm in track 2. If I go to the reverb, turn up the size here, and you can freeze the reverb, capture moments. And then I have a global tempo too, which can be changed too. So I can change the whole global tempo to change the way the track sounds. I'm gonna slow it down to like 64, because technically that's what the tempo was for the track. So you see where I'm at? You get the possibilities are crazy. Possible to just change the sample on a track and it keeps all the effects granular setting? Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. So here, I'm gonna stop this track. I have to stop it over here. So yeah, so let's say if this is going and now this is not going, so it's only gonna be track 2 technically. So you hear track 2 going, and you don't like this sample, you could just be like, all right, I'm gonna go find another. You just hit load, and you can go switch the sample. Right, so you can do that, and you could technically, I have it on freeze, so it's not moving. So if I didn't have that on freeze, when I let go, when I switch the sample, it would automatically pick up in its timing right where it needs to be. But the reason why I'm using freeze is because I'm trying to find a spot offset that I like, that sounds good. It's like I'm sculpting just that little piece there, and I want that to be, and then I can go into granular and start doing some crazy sprays. Hit granular again, I can detune, or I can even have it randomly have different sizes, or randomize the rate so that it doesn't sound. Let's do some detuning. And then I haven't even told you about the modulation, so you can go in and modulate everything. Then while that's going, I'm gonna play the M8. So on track 1, the M8's going, and all those settings are still going. So there's, each track is individual of itself, but because you can go into not the mixer, because you can go into what is it, the track right here, you can send track 1 to 2, or vice versa, or send 3 to 4, or however you want to do. You can send tracks parts to each other to mix and manipulate them even further. And then we didn't even talk about if you get into performance and you start locking in certain performs, like holding control and then setting each macro. So you have these 4 down here, control here. You got these 4 down here, but you also got these 8 up here. So all of those macros could be set to something different, and then you can start live performing with it and just doing a crazy song off of it. That's the way it's incredible. And you can run drums. So let me show you something else here. Let's go track 3. I mean, there's nothing on track 3, but if we hit material, control, material, we can go down to poly. And poly allows me to put a keyboard on here. So I can use a keyboard in here and actually play a sound. And I have an ADSR to shape it. stop this track. So now it's gonna fade out. And if you really want to just stop something quick, it's pretty easy. You just go in here and hit stop. But so see how it's kind of fading? I'm stopping both of them. But then I can bring them back and it's gonna time it. And all these correspond to the ones that you're on. So if you want to adjust the levels and whatever, you can do all that. Levels, filters. So you have the ability, and you can run drums through here. How many instruments are built in the M8 aside from the sample side? Oh, you want to know about the M8? Okay, so let me stop this. So in the M8, can you guys see that? I would show this on screen, but I'd have to plug in and do a whole nother camera stuff with the viewer. Okay, so let's go M8. So we'll go over to the instrument. Oh, I got to create a phase. Hold on, so let me just do that. All right, let's go over to the instrument. So if you go here to the instrument and you press, well, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the instrument pool, and we'll do this on 7. That way we don't mess up what I already have here. So now we're at the instrument says none, so we can start looking for one. So you just hold edit and then press here. So you use your arrows this way. Hold edit and press these. So there's the macro synth, oops, the sampler, the FM synth, which is cool, and the Hypersyn, which does chords. I think this is one of my favorites out of all of them. They're all cool, but you have to sound shape them, right? You got to go in and do that if you're going to use them. And then you have MIDI out. So you can do a MIDI out or external. Like here, if you want to play something in using external, you can do that. So that's pretty much what you have. Hypersyn, FM, and the micro synth. And honestly, they're all good in different ways. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you're into the synthy world, you're going to be loving it for sure, which I'm starting to learn to like, but primarily because I like pads and things of that nature. Um, but they're also good for leads. But then the sampler is where most people live with this because you get the most out of it, I think, with the sampler. And this sampler is phenomenal. I'm not lying to you. Like if you load a sound, just for instance, I'm gonna just load. Let's see. Let me see if I can find. I don't have a lot of samples on here because mind you, I'm just starting out with this thing. Let's load this sample. Edit. If you load a sample in here, outside of the fact of how you can chop and all that, if you hold edit here and go across, you can duplicate, normalize, silence portions of it, reverse it, fade it in and out on different parts. You can do cross loops, mono mix, mono right, down sample the thing. So if you want to get that lo-fi grit that you get like from the P6 and the SP404, you can downsample. You can also downsample to 16-bit. So let's say if the sample is 16, you could downsample to 8-bit. But if the sample is like 32 or 24, I think you can only downsample to 16. So you'd have to downsample to 16, then downsample to the other one. All right. Slice and silence. So you can slice some silence portion, and then you can count how many slices you want. I think you can have up to 255 slices. 128. Okay, 128 on there. But I've read somewhere that you can do more. Just this is their auto slicing stuff where they, but it's so much more in this thing. It just looks like it's not much to it, but it's way deeper. And the quality of the device and the sound, I mean, exceptional. And then there, oh, I didn't show you guys. Let me show you this. This is really cool. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Pass all this stuff here. Where is it? There's an OTT in this thing. I might have just passed by it. Let me go this way. Is it not there? Anyway, there's this OTT thing in here. If you guys know what that is, and it can make your sounds pump like crazy. Maybe it's in the mixer. That may be why I'm confused. All right. Mind you, I'm still learning, so just bear with me here. Let's go back out to, let's go back out of here. Let's go to the mixer, which I believe, Oh, you have modulators. So you got four modulators you can use LFOs on, by the way. I meant to say that. Here we go to the mixer. And then there's your three effects you have that you can use. Of course, you can sample in with effects too. It doesn't matter. Oh, right here. So here we go. So um, you got your EQ. This is a touch screen too, so you can touch screen your some of your stuff in too. But let me go down here to yeah. I think it's this one. Oops. I'm just pressing buttons now. Hold up a second. How's it doing it? Okay, back to this mixer and the type. Oh, they have a limiter on here. Of course, the mix EQ. The EQ on here is cool too. So let's see if you. I think it's there. You have an EQ scope, a mix scope, and then EQ right here. See how you can actually go into the EQ? I don't know if you can touch the EQ and move it, but some of them allow you to touch it. I just can't remember which ones because I'm still learning. Hopefully, you guys can see that. All right, let me check your questions. A few then nice to have a choice. Again, the MA has the EQ and limiter. Yes, the EQ. I just this is the EQ right here. So you have the EQ. Yes, you have the limiter. The OTT is crazy on this thing. Are you impressed with the effects? Yes, I am. It's got like, I mean, these are basic effects: chorus, delay, and reverb. And usually, I'm like, I don't like them on most time. Like I thought the ones on the Electron was really cool. But if I'm being blatantly honest, speaking of blatantly, if he ever shows up, what's up, man? Um, if I'm being honest, the EQ, I mean, not the EQ, what were we talking about? The effects on here actually sound really good, in my opinion, and are worth using. And if you really need more than that, I say grab Koala because Koala has a lot of effects in there. You could just use Koala with this coupled together because you can time stretch in here, but it's like a process to do it. It's not like your typical time stretch. So what I like to do is I could use the S4 to time stretch, or I'll use Koala and just time stretch my stuff in Koala, and then I'll just sample it right into here, and it's done. Because you got audio. Plus, you can render down things. So you can do a quick render where you set up a little sample scene there, but you want to like mix that really quick and make it a sample. You can just hit quick. Let me see. It's you select which one you want, right? So say I want to do that one. You go Shift Option, and it turns green. It highlights it. Because you got if you Shift Option, keep doing it. It'll keep highlighting different stuff. But let's just say you want to do one, and then I think it's shift up. Yeah, shift. Is it shift up? Shift up will let you go to. No, that's for the project. Hold on a second. Go back. All right, shift option, and I think you hit edit twice. That's right. You hit edit twice, and you could do a. I learned this yesterday. Quick render, a real time render, or external USB. So you could do a quick render and make yourself a sample real quick of your own thing, and then resample that back into here. It's pretty crazy. We have audio here. We're perfect. Thank you. What's up, Crazy Wabbit? Good to see you. I was gonna check out your video next, but I was like, man, I need to do a video. Feel like it's been a minute. So, but anyway, yeah. So there you go. So a lot of fun. To me, this is like having the Electron box in a portable Go factor. It's it's a better tracker in my opinion. It's just my opinion than the. I like the sound. I like everything about it better than the Polygon. I mean, when I say everything, I mean literally. I like everything about it better than the Polygon. But that's not disrespect to the Polygon. Theirs is cool. They have some features and things that are really nice, but I just like it better. But anyway, the portability, the battery is like 10 hours long, guys. That's crazy. So I mean, I don't sit on it 10 hours, but 10 hours is a long time. So you don't have to. I haven't charged the battery. I don't think once since I had it. It's still going. So it's pretty good. I mean, it's got everything I want in a little sampler and all that fingerprints I just put on there in the little sampler. Oh, that thing is still on. And the fact that it's a touch screen too, which I didn't. I mean, I don't need it, but you can move your slices around and stuff like that when you're doing your slicing of samples. It's just really nice. It really is. So the only thing, let me tell you my one or two gripes maybe. I always think devices like this should put zero cross snap in everything. I don't think like, Electron doesn't do it either. So if they all these companies that make these devices put a zero snap crossing in there, nobody wants to zoom in all the time to have to find the 0 point. It just saves time. Anything that saves time and makes you work, and gives you still that workflow that you like, that's kind of what you need. The other thing I would gripe about, I think I said, was time stretch, but time stretch is really challenging. I think because even Electron doesn't have they have one on there, but it ain't good. I'm gonna be honest. They got time stretch, but it is terrible. It's worse than Koala, in my opinion. But they could put one in there, a little simple one, something like what Koala does. I would love it. Yeah, man, I'm loving the M8. Definitely loving it. Resample is cool to have. Yes, resample. Actually, Meerkat. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. So the fact of having resample, and you can create like some, because with the tracker stuff, I'm trying not to mess up my song here, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just showing you. So we'll go into here. Here's the phrase, right, or the chain as they call it. And we'll go over. So here's this phrase for 00, which I need to take out of there because it's not 00. So hold this down. You can go in tens this way, and we'll call it 08 or 80. That way, it's nothing there. All right. So here's a blank one, and as you guys know, you can. I just showed you. You can hit this and highlight the row, or highlight the whole thing. I'm just gonna highlight the row, and then if you go, I think it's option here, and do random. Look at this. Can you see that? Hold on, let me change it. Random stuff. So when you want to come up with something crazy, right? Just throw some random. And I know this is on the Polyend too, but this is cool. For me, this is nice to be able to do random like that. Now, it would be nice if they let you randomize the volume. Like if I move over, but they haven't. There's certain things they're not at. But I will say this: the developer is constantly working on this thing. And he's super responsive if you're in the Discord with him. And he always answers questions. He answered mine the other day, something a newbie would ask, but I'm a newbie. So I told him that I'm a newbie too. Um, I only had her a few days. So my thing is, he's always there to ask questions. And the fact that he sets it up where you could use it on a headless if you can't afford to get his actual device. By the way, the packaging, the case, the everything he puts in there, he really, I mean, you would think this is from a top company. So he knows what he's doing. Anywho, I digress. Let's get back to questions. Let's see. Messing with you, Ro was having audio issues. Oh yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go check Raul out when I finish here. I was just needing to get back in this, man. I haven't been doing this. I've been on my health journey, which I'm still on, and I'm really trying to get this weight off. I got CPAP machine. I'm being honest, like I got stuff I got to deal with, and I don't want to be on this type of stuff. I want to just be regular, I guess, if that is such a thing these days. But anyway, I'm working at it. So every day I'm working at getting a little bit better. So I have looked into tempura. I do like the tasty chip stuff, but it is very pricey. I mean, like very pricey. Like try 2 times the price of a S4. And the one thing with the tempura, I mean not the tempura, the tasty chips is it is a granular synth, whereas this is a sampler that allows you to have the granular effect on it. You can use there's other effects in here, but that one's a granular synth. So there's a difference. You have to do some research on it. I did it a little bit, a synth versus a sampler, right? But both of them have granular in there. And I don't think either one is bad choice. If you can afford the tasty chips, by all means get that. But yeah, it is very pricey. It's definitely not in the same price. The tasty chips, even the GR, the regular one, that the Mega is crazy expensive. But even the GR, like you could buy it used maybe for like 900, but the S4 is only like 799, I believe. And if you find a used one, I got mine used. I think I paid like 700 for it. So they're not. You talking about a couple $100 different. The tempura might be. I don't know the pricing on it, but I wasn't fascinated with the way it looked nor the way it vibed. Um, All that. Thank you, Crazy Rabbit. You. I think if I'm not mistaken, you're a nurse, so you understand. It's a journey for sure. Um, was trying to. I try to read noise. I actually did a little something in it, but the problem is when I'm on the computer, I'll go to Ableton. If I'm on the computer, I might as well use Ableton. For some reason, and I love computers, and I love the iPad for what it can do. I love the iPhone for what I can do with it. But something about using like tracker on a computer doesn't do it for me anymore. Years ago, I had a friend he was doing that, but at that point, for me, I'd rather have the actual handheld, and I would go Poly in if that was the only choice. But I kept eyeballing this thing, and they finally got them in stock, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go with it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Is just trying to figure out, oh, to delete stuff in here, just in case you ever wonder, is boop, and it deletes, and that works on all the pages too. Even if like you mess up on your thing, you can always delete pretty easy. And saving on here is pretty easy. Oh, and they have, check this out. Let me see. Let's go to the project. So I'm gonna go to the project page, which is the main page, where you set your BPM and everything. Wait, and title your song. You can name. So this is what I was gonna show you on this naming the song. Check this out. If you hit edit, look at that bottom piece right there. Can you see that? It says random. So just like the Electron, you can do randomize on the name. And if you do it, then it changes your name. I don't even know what that is. But it said Jacquesh. I have no clue. Ivory cheese. Interesting. So you just keep doing it. Ultra sloth. Definitely not. But I mean, bio triangle. That's kind of interesting. But anyway, so you can do that and say, I'm not going to save that, by the way, but in fact, I'm going to just turn this off for now. That's it going through the reverb pedal. I mean, going through the S4 is picking that noise up. It's kind of neat. All right, let's see. Oh, IJ Audio was. Oh, I saw you did an update on one of my favorite plugins, probably the best plugin. This is opinionated, right? But the best plugin that you made, in my opinion, is this recent one. I really love that plugin. It's actually like, in fact, but guys, you should check his plugin out because it's very much like reminds me of the S4. It, of course, you need to have four of them loaded to do what the S4 does and be able to perform with it, but it kind of gives you that vibe. So yeah, man, check out his plugin for sure, for sure. Let's see what's up. Hey man, I'm just telling the truth. You're making good stuff. I really appreciate it. Trying to see if I missed anything. Yeah, the Sunbox. Oh, you like the Sunbox? That's well. If you like the Sunbox, man, you'll go nuts with the M8 thing because that thing looked terribly difficult. What are all these extra noises? I don't know. Fast Tracker 2. Yeah, that was like. Yeah, I remember Fast Track. Man, back in the day, a friend of mine was getting it in on some Fast Tracker stuff. He was loving that. It was too much math for me at the time. I mean, I'm good at math, but I just was like I didn't want to think about it when I was making music. Are you going to order? Oh yeah, I did order some buttons. I spoke with one of the guys from Metrograde. Metrograde is a big name in the Discord for. He also has a website. If you guys don't know him, and he's out of Canada. And we were talking today, and I asked him if he had green and like a metal looking color, because what I want to do is I want to change. I'm sorry, but this thing I'm gonna unplug this for a second. Hold on and mute that. What I wanted to do was I'm gonna change. I wanted to do mine like Doctor Doom. So I was gonna have like green and chrome looking thing here, but he doesn't do chrome, so he's got two. He's got two green and two gray, and I'm gonna get those green and gray from. I already got them basically ordered. He's just gonna send them out, and then I'm gonna have these two changed here, but I'll leave these black. So that's my plan. My little Doctor Doom thing. So green is my favorite color. So I still regret selling my Beastal Micro Granny. Never heard of that one. I know it. I know our base is it Beastal or Bastal. I know that company. They made a little mixer. Um, that were pretty cool. Shield Tracker is a beta on the desktop. Yeah, man, if you don't mind using the desktop for tracker stuff, hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, that's back in the day. That's what we had, right? Was a tracker on the desktop. So I got to use these tapes at some point over here in this tape recorder. I kind of got it in like because it was such a good deal, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna use it, but I haven't really got into it enough. I need to use it, but it's fun to use that kind of stuff into like the S4 where you can manipulate the sound even further and do some crazy stuff. Um, so yeah, I answered your question about the buttons. Definitely gonna do that. It's gonna be muscle memory, just so you know. That's gonna happen every time I sit down. I've gotten used to the where everything is. I mean, you pretty much know these are your arrows, right? Shift and edit are the two buttons you probably use the most. Of course, play because you play your song, but so honestly, these right here, these are I don't know. It just works really easy. It's not. I thought it was gonna be more complicated, but it's really not. And I think after learning the S4 really well and how I use that, I've gotten to where some of these devices are not too bad. I think the hardest thing with this guy is learning the effects commands. There's a lot of them, and they tell you on the screen. Why did I turn this off when I should leave it on so I can show you stuff? I hate when that's the coolest little intro too, by the way. So I mean, like when you go into any of these phrases or whatever, it's these little commands right here that you got to learn. So there's so many when you hit this and up. So you can see there's pages of these things, and they tell you if you look closely. Let's see if I can get it in there. Mixer effects, instrument mods, current instrument. So it's very, and they tell you each one what they are. So you go through them. They tell you it's a LFO trigger settings. They tell you it's a LFO frequency. So it's very descriptive to where you're not really like guessing what you're putting on something. And if you want to get rid of it, just hit those two. Boom, done. So yeah, I think it's just between the portability, the battery incredibility, the sound is amazing. The fact that you can just sit on the couch instead of looking at your phone, you could be looking at this screen and just really going to town making some music. It's not hard to learn. I thought it was going to be harder than what it is, but I've already made at least one song on it, which I could revamp and do. Everything's on the memory card, so you don't have to work. So you can get a bigger memory card if you want, but it all works off the memory card. You got MIDI in and out, so you can use the MIDI on here if you choose to. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Sticky keyboard here tonight. I blame. Yeah, and the I've seen even like if you guys ever watch I think you call him J Mac or whatever, his videos. He's pretty dope, and he takes his keys off, so he just uses his without it, and I actually like that. But I want to try keeping my keys on for a little while till I get used to it, and then I'll when I get to his level or something, maybe I'll decide if I want to take it off. Meerkat, I'm wanting to upgrade to iPad OS 26 too, but I'm scared it's gonna break something for me. Mostly worried about the AUM because I think comment about it being a bit weird. Oh, I'm upgrading my iPhone to the 17, but the trade-in value was really good, so I had to just take that risk on it. It's worth it in my opinion because I use my phone for work and I use it for obviously recording this video. Checking it out right now, make sure the battery is decent. So yeah, I use it for the video. So if you get enough use out of it, it's worth upgrading. I'm gonna stick with the iPad I have, and eventually to. I will try the new system. I tried it on the beta and it was terrible, but that was because the beta was just brand new. It wasn't, but they've been testing it, so it seems like it's pretty good. and I only use AUM and Koala, Drombo, and a few of the instruments on there and effects. So I'm not really stressing it so much. Let's see. Plans have you both machines into your set. So any plans how you use? Oh, when you say both machines, are you referring to the M8 as well as the S4? The S4 can be used any way you want it to be used. I could MIDI in the M8 and use it to um, control like a couple of these poly synths or poly materials if I wanted to. So that may be one way. Or if I just want to sample in and use it as an effects box, I could do that. Or I could use it. I use it a bunch of different ways already. I don't use the poly as much, partly because I'm most of the time working with samples when I'm doing this. And obviously that's a sampler too. You can put a sample in, but it's more like a one shot type thing that you can use. So you can, by the way, record whatever you play in here to another track. So I kind of showed you guys that if you go to tracks here, because you can send any track to any track, you could have track 3 as a poly and then record it onto track 4 as a tape and then just record that part in that you want and have it looping. So it is a looper too, obviously. You can loop with stuff, not in the traditional loop sense, but definitely a looper. So I kind of showed you guys all that. Performance on here. This thing is great for performing. And I like to use it to create my textural backgrounds and do different things. So there's a million pedals that can do different things, like the Habit makes one. I think it's called the Habit or something like that. Um, there's other pedals out there. There's the Microcosm that kind of does similar vibes. The only difference with the Microcosm is you're not getting all this performance effects. You're not getting all the blending. You're not getting all these LFOs. So it's more like set it and leave it type thing. Whereas this, you can really take your LFOs, start manipulating stuff, and making things jump and move. The M8 is for me to travel with more or less, but it's also a couch buddy to go with Koala. That's how I look at it. I want to use it with Koala more because Koala gives me the stretch. Well, Koala can, first of all, split stems. Koala can also stretch. It has its own sequencer, but I like the sequencer better. So I'll be using this probably as a sequencer for Koala, as well as sometimes building the whole song in here and then sending it to Koala to put some final touches on it, or send it to Ableton and then finish it in Ableton. Ableton's my go-to, my finalizer. I think everything goes through Ableton at some point because all my quality plugins are on Ableton, so it just has to. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up. I hope they got all the bugs worked out on. Yeah, me too. I hope they got all the bugs on iOS 26. Yeah, that beta was rough. I had to uninstall it too. I understand. Yeah, I'm super tempted by that Zoom. Oh, the Zoom. They got a new one out too. I think it's a new L6, but it's like an XL version where you get 4 mic inputs for the combo jacks. So take a look at that one too. I don't know what the price is, but that's an option. But this L6 is nice. It can run on batteries. It can also be powered by your phone or your computer through this USB, which I have here going to the phone. That's how you guys are hearing all the mix right now. You can record your whole track in here by putting all your instruments through it. It's a great little tool. Um, is it my favorite interface? Not really, but it does so much more than the typical interface would do for me, and I don't want to spend a lot of money for it. These things are pretty cheap too. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna pass on it too. I'm not looking at the Max. Oh, it's called the Max. Okay, I thought it was the XL, but it's called the Max. You're right. One USB-C port. Well, this one only has one USB-C, right? So I'm not sure. Maybe you mean something different. I'm misinterpreting. My bad. Let's see. Super tempted. Yes, both the M8 is better for the couch. Yeah, absolutely. For a couch, making music on travel. Yeah, I'm gonna be going on a trip soon, so that's why. Yeah, so the Chase Bliss pedals. That's what I was talking about. There's a habit, I think, and it's called, and then there's mood. So if you took the Habit and the Mood and put them together, you start to kind of get in the S4 territory. But those pedals are $300 each, 350 I think. So by the time you buy two of those pedals, you could have just bought the S4, and I promise you, you'll be happier with the S4 because you're doing way more with this than you are with those two pedals. And I'm not trying to mess with all those dip switches anyway. That would get annoying to me, especially if you're trying to do something live or whatever. You ain't gonna. There's not a lot of live to that I would even want to touch. It would get real wonky after a while. But the Chase Bliss stuff is good. That's not to say they're bad. I just think they're more tailored, in my opinion, towards guitarists. Finally built something that I think is somewhat of a virtual microcosm pedal. Oh snap! I spent months on it, and I think I'm almost ready. Hey, thank you so much, IJO Audio. Good gracious, I never thought that could be done because nobody. Every time I ever mention that, people are like, "Oh, I wouldn't even do that." I even wrote to Microcosm to ask them to make a plug-in version of their pedal, but no response. They gave me crickets. So if you come out with that, that's gonna be cool. I look forward to that. I'd definitely be buying that for sure. Oh, the pedal or the people need a virtual. Yeah, I said that for sure. We're Wonder Art definitely need a virtual version of that. Zoom L6 Max Pass. I said that. Oh, you're saying if it had two? Yes, I agree with you 100%. Crazy Wabbit. If it had two, I'd definitely grab that. I would trade this one in and get that if it had two. But yeah, it's. I don't think it's there. I think basically all they did was add in two more combo jacks, which just makes it a lot longer. And or did they take out two? I don't remember what they did, but I know they added two combo jacks more. I didn't really think it was that great. Let's see, modern day tracker or the M8 software come to iPad. So there is an app, but currently it's just for mirroring. You can mirror the screen to your iPad or your iPhone. So that is an app that is out already by that's made by Dirty Wave. Um, so if you need a bigger screen, just pull out your iPad and you can put a USB C in there, and it'll automatically open it up on the iPad. IJO do desktop, or he does desktop, I think. But man, if he ever brings some of this stuff to iOS, I'm telling you, he's gonna make some money. I'll be promoting it for sure. IJO Audio. If you, I'm serious, bro. If you bring this to iOS, the stuff you're making right now, and able to, if you can find a way to get that to iOS, you will make money. Keep your prices where they are, reasonable, maybe a little bit more because you know you gotta pay them Apple taxes or whatever. But yeah, man, your stuff is pretty top tier, and nobody. And I think a lot of people might sleep on it just because it's primarily in Ableton. So that's the challenge that you might get. Some people don't use Ableton. Is the S4 addressing any of the people are talking? Okay, so all the bugs that I know of have been eliminated since this new version just came out like a week ago or less. I'm on the beta, by the way, just in case you're wondering. This isn't the beta here, but I'm just telling you that on the beta, they're about to release another beta soon that's going to have some more updates. They talked about it in a video, and they've already been working in the background to eliminate all the previous bugs. So all that stuff is gone. I have no issues with it at all. So the S4 is working just fine. And they are what they're doing is they're because I talked to them about this about doing smaller fixes. So do a fix and then give people time to use it and then do the next fix. So that way you're not fixing 100 things at one time and you can control it a lot better. So that's what they've been doing and it's been working. And then this other guy came in and he helped them see how they could take like this guy right here, this little S thing, and format this so that it formats in here. So I'll show you that real quick. I'm not going to actually format it, but I'll just show you. So if we go to project, I mean, not project, configuration, and we scroll down in the system now, you'll see there is a format external USB drive. So you don't even have to go to the computer to format the drive because that was annoying, I have to say. Now you just stick it in here and it'll format the drive for you in the system, which is so much better and it makes everything run smoother. Also, in the configuration, in case you guys haven't seen this, you can set your scenes. By the way, you can create scenes in here and move through scenes where certain things drop out. It's basically a sequencer. It's not really a sequencer. It's like a song mode that they've created in here. It's called scene, and that's what it does. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that for a second. Here's your MIDI controls, which the MIDI in here works great. Have no issues with that. The audio in here. You got a mic on deck too, by the way. In case you didn't know this, there's a mic up here. So it's not the greatest mic, but you can sample through it. But if you want a better mic, just buy yourself a little one of these, or buy yourself a mic. You could do either one, but you can buy yourself a little Zoom recorder that you can handily just plug in and record your stuff. So I've been collecting my few things that I really think are like keepers that are necessary to have, and that's one of them because that little thing there can go out, and I have this little thing here too, little stand, so that you can take it and set it somewhere and collect sound if you want to go out and get some nice nature sounds. Put in your music. Um, yeah, man, iOS is. I still love iOS. There's just things that I want that never get there, and that's the problem. Like I really want ample sound audio to amplesound.net rather to bring over those guitars and their bass sounds to iOS. And if they just do it, I've been begging them. I mean, I buy their stuff too, but I was like, if you just do that, you have a market that nobody else has because nobody's doing it. So be the first and get all the money. If you want the money, get it. It's there for your taking. You just got to be willing to put the work in and do it. Did it kick back? Are we back? Did it kick back? Are we back? Let me test this. I think we're back. Are we back? Because Sweetwater tried to jack me up with that, calling me in the middle of a. Okay, cool. Unbelievable. Shout out Sweetwater. They're actually pretty good people there too. I like them, but don't mess up my video. And I did put this thing on Do Not Disturb, but whatever. VST. Let's see. That would be really cool. Hey man, look, IJ Audio. We just we like supporting people that actually like supporting us and doing good stuff. I think that's the community of iOS, and that's the community in general. At least the people I know on YouTube that stop in and visit my channel all support it. And I always push your products because I think you just make great stuff. So keep up the good work and look forward to seeing what you do in the future. Yeah, iPad is a virtual pedal. You're right, Crazy Rabbit. See, you don't really need like this hardware pad. I only got it because it was special because it has this time stretch thing on it where you can slow samples down. And I've never seen another pedal that does that. So with that and the filter and being able to filter out, it's just a unique reverb pedal, and that's the only reason I bought that one. Otherwise, I would never buy another pedal because there are so many pedals out there on iOS that you can use, and I have a ton of stuff on desktop, so that's a whole nother world. All right, do you think you're invested in the Poly MS? You know what? The Poly MS actually looks kind of cool, but again, it's an effects box. Um, there's a little step sequencer thing in there. I don't really see me doing it just because I don't need it. Like it's just an effects box. And I kind of got what I want from the effects right here with the S4 personally. I think this has been the best effects box for me. It has everything I need. And it's nothing wrong. Yeah, he's saying he says it too. And I was thinking the same thing. There's nothing wrong with owning hardware pedals. I think it's kind of cool. But just get pedals that you really feel are unique and special, or they sound really good to you. Don't get stuff just to be like, oh, it's just a cool pedal to have. Because what's going to happen is you're going to keep it for a little while and then be like ready to get rid of it. I'll tell you one that I would love to have, but I probably won't be getting anytime soon is the Electrons uh, effects heat or heat plus effects or whatever they made. That one I really like. It's got the effects in it all built into it, and I like a lot of the electron effects. I think they sound really good. Plus, it's supposedly pretty good for. Is it clipping? I wonder if that's. Hold on, because I'm watching it. Let me just see. Maybe that's me doing something. All right. Hopefully, it's not clipping on everybody's or it gets back. So yeah, what was I saying? The hardware. So that effects box I was thinking would be really nice to have, but it's not even it's not really necessary. The H90 used at a Sweetwater for 670. Yeah, the H90 is cool, but I restarted the stream clipping style. Okay, so maybe it's a YouTube thing because that's weird because I haven't changed anything to be honest with you. And so if it stopped on that, it must be a YouTube issue. I won't be on much longer. Got to get back to work. Just taking a break to do this because I really wanted to do something. Feel like I haven't been doing as much YouTube lately. Just like I said, I haven't been focused on it as much. But I'll be doing more videos with the M8. As I learn more from it, I'll share it with you. I don't want to share me just stumbling through stuff, but when I start learning how to use it better and get more efficient with it, then I'll do it. I'm pretty efficient now with the S4. I've gotten used to it. So if there's any questions or things with S4, I can definitely show that. But in time, we'll get more. I'm debating whether I'm gonna keep this thing down here because it's driving me crazy. Because all the plugs are right here in view, and you can see cables just sitting every which way. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. Um, you know what? You're right, Crazy Rabbit. I feel the same way. Some people hate that, but and it's good you said that because in my opinion, you need to see failure so that you can understand what success looks like, right? So if you see me fail, then you're like, oh, okay, don't do that, right? Can you not learn from me making a mistake? So, yes, you can. And I think that's an important factor in life that we're kind of missing these days. IJO Audio just sent the beta version of my microcosm inspired device from Ableton. Oh, appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at that and just try it out and give you some input and tell you what I think. And I'm going to be definitely updating my new plugin or the other plugin today too as soon as I get off here. So thank you so much. And thank you for stopping in. And guys, if you could hit the like for me, that'd be great. Um, I don't usually ask for it, but it's nice if you can, if you have the time to do it. Hey, there's DiBiase. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Good to see you, man. It's not on your level of setup though, because you got the goods, bro. But I'm just doing what I can. So yeah, the M8. I was just talking about that. The S4. This is my favorite effects really that I use for making my cinematic music. The Zoom is just here because I need some type of interface, and it's nice if you want to push different sounds through it without. And then of course you can also multi-track that out. And then there's the reverb pedal. There is just my favorite reverb because you can time stretch with it. And I've never seen a reverb that allows you to time stretch like this. It's crazy. Stretching samples and pitching them and doing different stuff with a reverb pedal is insane. But yeah, so see if we can get this going again. That compression on here is really nice too. And the distortion, the drive. Put a little little bit of that Redux and Bit Crush. Crank the reverb. Put a little delay. Throw a little bit of that and time stretch. And then I can filter out and put some decay over it. Now I got a complete soundscape from a simple little small portion here, and then if I want to move it, and because this has time stretch on it, which is what I'm using, you stretch the sample, change the length of where it's going to be. I'm heavily into ambient and cinematic. I like TV score stuff, making stuff that's like crazy like that. But you can put beats over any of this stuff. Exactly. That's what I've been working on, just like working on behind the scenes, just making like coming up with creative ideas for TV shows and then building like little scores or little like what would I call it? Like theme music for it. Yeah, I have it set to Dream too, and I stretch the sample out, speed the sample up. So I know this sounds ambient, right? Because that's what you typically would think. But I guarantee if you take a sample and you put this over it, and then you put some beats over it, it's just gonna sound like some different hip hop, right? It's just gonna be something